How do you smudge a person and a space? Hi, I'm Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com, and if you want to learn more about how to be a witch or a Wiccan, hit the subscribe button below so that you don't miss anything. This video is really about smudging or cleansing with smoke. In Wicca, particularly because Wicca is European, we don't really refer to it as smudging, and we don't use smudging sticks as such, like sage or anything like that, traditionally speaking. But of course, there's nothing to stop you from doing that, and you can find sage sticks in abundance in many New Age stores and places that sell all sorts of witchy and New Age things. So sage is a great purifying plant. It does have a history of being purifying and antiseptic, so it is really good for that purification. But traditionally, in the European traditions anyway, anything that was consecrated or cleansed or cleared or worked with for protection was mostly, we worked with frankincense and myrrh. In the East, it would be sandalwood. And they're the two herbs that I'm working with today. Now you can collect the herbs fresh and dry them out and then bundle them together with some cotton so that you have like a smudging stick of those various different herbs. You can use lavender, dried lavender. You could use rosemary. Any of those herbs that have protective, cleansing properties you can use to cleanse a space. Now, if you're smudging somebody or cleansing somebody, you're really doing it as a consecration, and that's a consecration, a purification, and it just helps smoke out some of that excess energy that people drag along with them during the course of the day. And it's really about purifying and cleansing. You can use various different incenses for protection magic, but if you're really looking at protection magic, you probably need to do more than just smudge yourself. That might be the beginning of your process, but if you are, for example, being cursed, or if you feel that there are unpleasant spirits around the place, smudging is something you'll probably need to do every day if you are wanting to try and keep that negative influence away from yourself, if you're relying on smudging only as your only defense. But I want to show you how you do it anyway, and if you have any questions about that, more of the removing negative energies, then yeah, pop them in the comments field. So smudging mostly is used to purify, consecrate, make something holy, make something sacred, and it uplifts the spirit, it uplifts the energy, and you can simply do it to yourself by just allowing the smoke to blow over you. So I'm using stick incense. I'm not using, you can use a thurible. I am very sensitive to smoke, so even as I'm breathing this small amount of smoke in, it is starting to affect my throat. So I don't use a lot of incense in my work. I only use it in small amounts, and if I'm going to use like an incense on a coal where there's heaps of smoke coming along, I would do it outside, not inside. So you're just blowing it over yourself if you're going to cleanse and consecrate and purify yourself, okay? So just waving it over yourself, and you can take it down your body, move it around your body. And as you're doing that, you can say, I cleanse and consecrate. I remove all negative energy. Remove all malefic and replace with benefic. So just imagine that this smoke is just taking away any dense energy and replacing it with light, okay? So that's doing it to yourself. If you're doing it to another person, I don't have another person with me, so I'm going to do it to my troll here. He's my troll, and I really like him. Had him for years. He's a Norwegian troll that I got from a from a Scandinavian shop. So I'm going to use him as an example. I'm just going to place him here. And when you are doing smudging, you can use your hand to smudge, and you do the same thing. Or you can use a feather, okay? Feathers are good because they do have that nice little air effect. And you just blow the smoke over the person. Or object if you're consecrating and cleansing an object. So you can do this if you buy a lot of secondhand things. It's always a really good idea to cleanse them before you use them. For example, especially clothing and jewelry or anything that's coming into close contact with you, to remove other people's energy, because you don't want to be carrying around, because you don't know who maybe you don't know who's owned them before, you don't know what their story is, what their energy's like. So you can do this with your clothing as well, jewelry, anything. Even if you buy it from a shop, you may want to cleanse it and consecrate it, or cleanse it if it's not something that you're going to be using for the craft, and you don't need to consecrate it, but you will need to cleanse it. So that can be anything that you buy, particularly if it's being used by somebody else. So you just do the same thing. I cleanse and consecrate. You remove all malefic and replace with benefic. Just blow it over them. And then again, just imagining that all of that negative energy is being transformed into light. And that can be white light, blue light. Blue light's great. I prefer blue to white. I find it more effective. And that's consecrating a person, or a troll in this case. And if you're doing a home, it's the same thing. You can use the feather or you can use your hand. You start from the back door. You move into all of the rooms along the way. You go into the corners of the rooms, so you make sure you get the corners, and that the smoke that you're smoking all of the corners, all of the outside of the room and the center of the room, until you make your way to the front door, open the front door, and then blow it out the door. So, and you do the same thing. I cleanse and consecrate this space. You can say in the name of the god and goddess, or if you have a particular deity, you can, especially deities like Isis or Hecate. Hecate is wonderful to work with for removing obstacles and purifying space. So you can say it in their names. Remove all malefic and replace with benefic. And you can say that as many times as you like while you're moving through the space. So that's how you can use incense and smoke to consecrate and cleanse. Another thing that you can do as well as do the smoke, or if you can't smoke the place out, if you have a condition, a lung condition, upper respiratory condition where smoke really just isn't an option, you can use a rattle or maracas. You can use bells. You can use drumming. Any sort of percussion instrument, or things that make that sort of a noise, like a shaking noise or a tinging noise, breaks up negative energy. So if you've had people in your house who have a lot of negative energy and you want to kind of get rid of their energy after they leave, just go through the house the same way as you do with the smoke. You can smoke it first. You can then go through and do exactly the same thing with consecrated salt water, depending on how negative these people were. Or you can just simply do the same thing, start at the back door, go through all of the rooms, out the front door, rattling. You just keep rattling. Or you can drum, or you can use bells, or even a singing bowl if you have a singing bowl. That helps break up negative energy as well. So all of these tools break up negative energy and can help lift the energy and send the energy away, depending on what that energy is. So if it is just negative people, if it is something a little bit more serious than that, then you may need to be looking at doing more than just the smudging. You may need to do the smudging along with doing some other things as well. I know that I hear a lot of people come to me saying that they think they've been cursed. I mean, that's another story, but they've tried smudging and salt baths and nothing seems to be working. So first of all, you have to determine whether the person really has been cursed or not, which is a really tricky thing to do in itself. And then look at You know, smudging alone, just doing it once, twice, or even just 3 times may not be enough. You more likely need to be doing this over the course of 33 days or more, that kind of thing. So it depends what you're using your smudging for. If it's just to remove some negativity because people around you have been a bit negative, they're a bit toxic, you can break it up pretty easily with smudging, with a rattle, with a drum, with bells. So that is that. If you want to find out more about how you can teach yourself Wicca or Witchcraft, or how you can manage your training, I have a free masterclass now available on my website. It's a 20-minute video that gives you a roadmap to help you navigate where to start, and also to help you navigate around what it is you're really wanting from your practice. Because sometimes it's so hard to know where to start simply because you don't really know what it is that you want from the practice. So you need to determine that first. It's a 20-minute video available on my website. The details are below this video, so help yourself to that. I'm Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and let me know how you go with your smudging and clearing. Until next video, blessed be.